Well, happy Easter, everybody. Hello, everyone. It's Stoney, and I hope you're doing all right. Today is Saturday. What is this? The 19th, 20th? I can't remember. I never can remember. But it is the Saturday before Easter, and I love Easter. I love what it stands for, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's a renewal, springtime, and you can see, man, we're in full, almost summertime leaves. My friend John Gilbert and I rode up to Wilkesboro yesterday to get lunch, and I noticed up there the trees were they weren't fully bloomed out, or they was real light green, and some trees weren't even fully budded out yet. So anyway, listen, hey, thank you guys for stopping by. I truly appreciate it. You know, I'm going to jump on Sam Smith's back again. The last video that I put out, I had mentioned Sam Smith, and I'm going to mention him again. And he had a video that I thought was pretty good. Do you love your motorcycle? Do you love your bike? And I think all of us love our motorcycles, but I'm going to give everyone my take on it, and I will put a link to his video in the description. And by the way, I just left my neighborhood. This is Hoover Hill Road. I'm sorry, Archdale Road. I'm looking up here where this car's turning. It's turning onto Hoover Hill Road, but this is Archdale Road. It'll turn into Caraway Mountain Road, right down the road here. But do you love your motorcycle? You guys that ride, guys and gals that ride. I do love my motorcycle. I have two. I have my Sporty here, my 2020 883 Iron that I love dearly, and I also have my 2023 Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro. I love it too. Now, you might ask, which one do I love the best? Well, it's like your children. You're not supposed to love one more than the other one. And we have two boys, and I love them both the same. They're two entirely, completely different motorcycles, and I love them for what they are. Obviously, my Sporty here is a cruiser. I love it for the simplicity. It doesn't have any, other than electronic fuel injection, there's really no electronics on it. It doesn't have ABS brakes. It doesn't have anything but a motor, throttle body. It's got, you know, electronic engine management, as do all bikes these days because they're fuel injected. But that's it. I love this bike for the simpleness and the purity of it. And that's what attracts me to this type of motorcycle. I mean, it's fun to ride, of course. Doesn't make a whole lot of power. Probably makes, I'm thinking less than 50. I think they make 48 horsepower. It's got pretty good torque. I think it's 59 foot-pounds of torque. But, you know, it runs good. It goes fast enough for me. You know, my truck, and this will relate to the simplicity of machines, any kind of machine you can think of. My truck got damaged really badly by a hailstorm we had about 3 weeks ago, and it was in the shop 2.5 weeks. I got it out on Thursday evening. They had to replace the hood. The hail was so big and it fell so hard that it broke the front passenger side window. It's a crew cab truck, so it's a 4-door truck, but it broke the passenger side front window. That's how hard it hit. Now, the hail didn't go through it, but it left a big divot in it, and about a week later, the window shattered. So I did almost $10,000 worth of damage to my truck. So while it was in the shop getting repaired, my father had an old Ford pickup truck, a 2003, which really isn't old, but it's old by today's standards, I guess. When he passed away, my youngest son bought it from my mother, and you know, we wanted to keep it in the family because my dad bought the truck brand new. He had it fixed up exactly like he wanted it. But just all this is, my dad never liked a lot of electronic gizmos and gadgets. This truck had roll-up windows. It was an automatic, a really base truck. I think the only option he got on it was like some chrome wheels or chrome wheel covers or whatever. Anyway, the truck's a 2003. It's got less than 100,000 miles on it. So while my truck was in the shop, I borrowed the truck from my son. He's got two other vehicles, and you know, my truck has it's power seats, power windows, cruise control, and I like those in a vehicle to a certain extent. I also know that they can be troublesome and costly when they break. So it was very refreshing driving my dad's truck for a couple weeks. Just a plain, and it's a single cab truck. It's not a crew cab, not a king cab. It was a single cab Ford with a bench seat. And I got to tell you, it was so refreshing to drive that truck. I really enjoyed it. Almost I didn't want to give it up when my truck was ready. But I had to get my truck back. And I love my truck, don't get me wrong. But again, it's going back to the simple things in life, the simplicity. You know, the reason this truck has lasted so long, the old truck, is because it's just simple. It's a motor, transmission. Yeah, it's fuel injected, but it's got an AM FM radio. It's a 3-speed automatic transmission, maybe a 4-speed, I don't know. And it's not 4-wheel drive. It's a base, about a base of a truck as you can get. If anything happens to this truck, it's not hard to fix, not hard to work on. You don't have to have technicians pouring all over it with these scanners trying to figure out what the heck's wrong with it. And you know, the same thing's happening in the motorcycle industry. You know, some of these motorcycles are just getting too expensive. Hey, my Tiger, I can't do anything on that bike except change the oil. Everything else, it's got a 6-axis IMU, it's got traction control, it's got all these settings on it that I never use. Road modes, electronic rear suspension, all this stuff. I never use them, and it'd be fine with me if it didn't have them. I mean, I guess it's nice to set the suspension from the handlebar control. You know, I can set it for 2 passengers or just 1 passenger. But honestly, how often I rarely use that stuff. And I keep it in road mode 99% of the time. Every now and then when I think about it and I'm riding up in the mountains in the curvy road, I put it in sport mode. But honestly, I can't tell that much difference. So, back to loving your motorcycle. Yes, I love both of my bikes. I may love this one just a little bit more just because it was inexpensive to buy, it's inexpensive to maintain, the taxes on it and the license on it are about anybody can own one of these that has a decent job. And it's a shame that manufacturers are getting away from the simple motorcycles. You know, I think maybe Royal Enfield. There's a couple companies that are. But Harley's gotten away from it. Triumph's gotten away from it, pretty much. So anyway, what do you guys think? Do you love your motorcycle, as Sam Smith said, or do you not like it? Have you been looking maybe to purchase another one or buy something different? I've ridden motorcycles since I was 14 years old. I've always had a bike, and I've had a ton of motorcycles. I've had 7 Harleys, I've had Yamahas, I've had Suzukis, I've had Hondas. I've never owned a Kawasaki. But some of these bikes nowadays, from every major brand, they're just getting very complicated. Complicated to work on, complicated to own, and expensive to own. So, hey, look, I'd love to know your thoughts, what you think about that. And I'm going to enjoy my ride this afternoon. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Y'all take care. This is Stoney, and we'll talk to you later.